Good morning, everyone. This is Marjolaine and Andrea, and I am so excited because Andrea's just done the Rev Up, and I've done a few Rev Ups, but I think it's just great to get more information from someone else and revive my journey to Rev Up. So, Andrea, what did you get out of Rev Up, and what was your biggest win coming away this month?
So this is my fourth Rev Up, and I didn't do it in December. I don't know if there was one in December, but
there was. Yep.
The wheels fell off for me in November. So some of the weight that I'd lost in September and October, I managed to find again. and so then you feel a bit despondent and you think, But then I guess what I got out of this time round was this is a lifestyle, and you don't overhaul your lifestyle in a day. And it's a program of many moving parts. And probably the first 2 months I did it, I just kind of was like a deer in the headlights. I was a bit overwhelmed. There's a lot of information. And because of the time difference between Australia and America, where the coaches are, I just lost the plot, particularly in November. I don't know what happened to me in November, but anyway, I lost the plot. And about 3 days I went, too hard. I'm not going to do this. But this time around, I thought, okay, be systematic. So I wrote out in my little Rev Up journal, day 1 to 10, there's normally 2 coaches talks each day, one in their morning and one in the afternoon. And then they like you to post what your food is, and then they like you to do a nightly check-in. So I actually put a column for each. And then I didn't worry about starting on the same day they did. I started day 1 the very next day. So I think next time round, they're starting February 5, but because we're ahead, I'm not going to start until the Tuesday, and then I'll go back and I'll just do day 1, day 2, day. So that was really helpful to just get my head around it. Yeah. And I listened to every single coach's talk this time. I put an alarm on my phone to remind me to do the 2 check-ins, and I ticked off on that little spreadsheet, the old pen and paper spreadsheet. Nothing technological, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I took before photos, mostly of my face this time. I did the full body stuff when I first started, and that'll be really helpful in about a year when I lost all my weight. But for now, I'm just happy to record what I'm noticing in my journal. So I noticed my skin. My skin is my weak spot. So whenever I'm stressed, it will start to get inflamed and itchy. And it was doing that in November, that's for sure, and December, because Merry Christmas to me. I ate way too much sugar, and so my skin was playing up. But what I noticed in my photos this time, and I know from living it, is the itch is gone and the redness is gone. So the inflammation's coming down. I did lose some weight. And what I'm doing now is a modified Rev Up in between and sticking pretty much to the containers, probably adding a little bit more in the way of carbs in, but not a lot. And
the great thing is it's only 10 days.
Yeah, but you have to use the 10 days as a way to learn something new each time. So there's kind of the component of the tincture, the water, the food, and the containers are really helpful there, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Then there's the coaching, which I don't think people really appreciate. We're getting incredible coaching for free.
Unbelievable.
And if you're a win-win girl like I am, I love the fact that they support an orphanage in Uganda, and it's up to you, totally voluntary, but you can make a donation to that. But each month I've done it actively. I've made a donation because I think, well, goodness me, if I was paying for this at a gym, I'd be paying big bucks.
Yeah.
And sometimes if we don't put a little bit of cash in the game, we don't actually invest do the program, because it's like, oh, it's free. No, I can do that anytime.
Yeah.
So each month I've just made a small donation, and I know it's going to a really good cause, and that allowed me to access a T-shirt that's a Rev Up t-shirt, which I'll start to use now in promoting Rev Up to other people. So, you know, it's a win-win-win, if you like, and I love that. So yeah, there's the food. Then there's the eating window. Like, I only got my head really around that this time.
Yeah.
And then there's exercise, and that's been tricky for me because of a health issue I've got. But I'm kind of like, I'm 4 months in and I actually know now what all the components are. I'm a slow learner, you know?
Yeah, but I think we're all like that. The first time is it can be overwhelming. It might be really simple for others, but for me, I just observed because I've got a chef as a husband, and it's really hard to get my head around, you know. But Vito and I, it took about 2 months in before we started changing our diet, even though we were eating healthily. And I noticed I didn't really need to lose a lot of weight, but I did lose it. But the most important thing, the inflammatory food, I became more mobile and less pain. So that to me is invaluable.
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for too. I think that lowering of inflammation has such positive effects for our longevity, for our well-being, for our sleep, for our skin health. Yeah, everything. So they say that most illness, the root cause is inflammation, and different people will show that up in different ways because we're all uniquely wired. So yeah, no, I'm really, really grateful that it came along, and I'm grateful that it's just real food.
Yes.
We're not buying anything out there, and it's portion control, and the containers, the colourful containers, really help with the portion control. So I did invest in them a few Rev Ups back, and they've been really helpful to just know what is a cup of vegetables look like, what does a 3/4 of a cup of oatmeal actually look like. And I think one of the coaches this time around said she wasn't eating unhealthily, but probably her portions were out, and across her whole, she wasn't getting the seeds and the healthy fats that we need for our metabolism to work and rev up. So that's been helpful too.
I used to eat a lot of good foods, but lots of nuts. Too many, you know, when you look at the portion, I was eating a lot of nuts, a lot of good food, but too much of it. So that was
and not enough. I realized I wasn't eating enough protein. And when I follow on plan with the amount of protein, I am not hungry.
Yes.
And I am not craving sugar. If you're taking the right amount of nincha and you get your protein right, that sugar craving gets kicked to the curb. And that's really interesting.
So what would you say to anyone out there that is looking to not only lose weight, but be on a healthy, above the wellness line, real health, not just, I used to just chase the sugar, even though it was fruit or whatever, and never feel content and always on a high. So my energy was high, but in the wrong.
Look, I don't think you've got anything to lose. You're going to be eating anyway. And because it's normal food, you can, my family weren't on Rev Up with me, but they ate the meals that I prepared using the Rev Up principles, and they benefited. I think the other thing is, I think what I've learned is when I'm eating on plan, I'm not focused on food. That sounds really funny, but I plan my day ahead of time. I work out my containers the night before. I know what I'm going to be eating, cooking. I prep it, put it in to go off to work with me. I prep my water, and then I don't have to think about it. You got to finish all that, eat it all, you know, and that frees my mind up to be doing other things. And that's what life's meant to be. It's not about what we're eating and drinking. It's so much more. So look, have a go. I think, and reach out for support if you struggle with one aspect of the Rev Up program. The coaches are there. Jump on a post and ask a question, and lots of people will come back and support you. And like some of us here in Australia have done it now a few times, so we're available for support.
And we also got Deb, who has a little group that continually support each other in Australia, Our Time. And I really love it that the first day of our challenge, we actually get taught how to prep. You know,
there's 3 prep days in the run up to Rev Up, and I think that's so key.
That's a key.
They're the videos that are worth watching. Even if you don't, the first time around, even if you don't get to all the videos, like the 2 coach videos each day, watch the prep ones because they will help you immensely. Like
I found that having cauliflower and different vegetables in my smoothie straight up made such a difference to my life, you know. That was like huge.
And you know that cauliflower in your smoothie, while we're on it, when you put cauliflower, like all you do, I just chop up raw cauliflower. I put them into 1 cup amounts into bags and stick them in the freezer, right? When you add that to your smoothie, it makes it like ice cream.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm thinking about freezing it and marketing it. But anyway, that's another story.
My daughter said to me, Mum, I just watched this secret to a smoothie, to protein drink. You wouldn't believe it. It's cauliflower, what you told me. She had to get it from the expert, you know. I said, I know, I have got it.
That's just mum.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Andrea. It's just been a delight to see you glow with health. And I just wanted everyone else to see the benefits, because I get on with my before and after shot, but I love to just hack out how everyone else is doing their Rev Up. So thank you so much. And see you next time. Ciao for now.
See ya.